Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list, and I wanted to talk about movie villains. Yes, the evil, cunning, sinister villains in movies. Yes, I went a little over the top there, but anyways, I want to talk about movie villains, because movie villains are some of my favorite things in movies. And I thought, you know what? Let's make a top 10 list of my favorite movie villains of all time. This is just my personal favorites, so yeah, if there's a villain on here, that you don't agree with, again, it's just my opinion. So yeah, here's my top 10 of my personal favorite movie villains. And as always, before our top 10 list, you gotta give your honorable mentions. And my honorable mentions for movie villains are Darth Maul from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Loki from the Avengers / Thor, Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, T-1000 from T2, Voldemort from the Harry Potter franchise, Hans Lando from Inglourious Basterds, and Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes, all great villains, just couldn't make the top 10 list. But what did make my top 10 was my number 10, and that is Scar from The Lion King. Yes, this is my all-time favorite Disney villain. The Lion King was the very first movie I ever saw in theaters, and it's one of my favorite Disney movies. I love The Lion King. And I love Scar, who's voiced by Jeremy Irons, and yeah, Scar is such an intimidating, menacing villain, and he's the only Disney villain to actually kill a character. He kills one of the main characters off in the first 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, a Disney villain actually kills people. That's fucking cool. Well, not people, lions, but still, he is awesome. I love Scar. Yes, be prepared. Yes, Be Prepared is one of my favorite Disney villain songs, and I love Scar. I love the look of Scar. I love the big scar across his face. I don't know if that's why he's called Scar. And I also don't get why he's like Mufasa's brother. They look nothing alike. But anyways, I love Scar. He's a well-designed character. He's a very cunning character. He's a very smart character. And yeah, he's the only Disney villain to actually kill a character off. So yeah, go Scar. Coming number 9 is Calvin Candie from Django Unchained. I really wanted to go with Steven from Django Unchained, but yeah, as much as I love Steven, I just like Calvin Candie a little bit more. They're both despicable human beings, but that's what makes them so interesting, because that's what makes them good villains. Villains are despicable, disgusting human beings, and both Steven and Calvin Candie are, but Calvin Candie's more despicable. He is so sick and domesticated and fucked up. He just loves people killing each other. That's why he has the Mandingo fighting. He just loves the sight of people killing each other. That's how sociopathic this guy is, and Leonardo DiCaprio plays him so freaking well. I don't know why he didn't get an Oscar nomination for his performance. Yeah, I love Christoph Waltz as Dr. Schultz, but I love Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. And Calvin Candie is one cynical, crazy bastard. And yeah, you don't get to meet him until the second act of the movie, because the first act of the movie is all about Django and Dr. King Schultz. But when Leonardo DiCaprio comes in, oh man, you really are afraid of this guy, and you're a little whoa, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And yeah, that's what makes him so fascinating. And he's not a strong villain, he's not all that smart either. He's just intimidating and just flat out psychotic, and that's what makes him just so entertaining. He's just so fun to watch on the screen, and Leonardo DiCaprio just plays him so freaking well. And yeah, he's one of my favorite movie villains ever since I've seen Django Unchained. I'm like, damn, that's a freaking villain, and yeah, he is. Go Calvin Candie. Coming number 8 is Belloc from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I wanted to go with a few Indiana Jones villains, the Temple of Doom villain I love Donovan from Last Crusade. I don't like Kate Blanchett from the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but I was going to go with either one of those three. But Belloc is the best villain in Indiana Jones. He's almost a lot like Indiana Jones, but just more evil. And he's just as smart as Indiana Jones. He's just as equipped as Indiana Jones. He has actually even more sources than Indiana Jones. He's willing to do things Indiana Jones is not willing to do. He's willing to screw whoever over, and he's willing to work with whoever to get what he wants. He works with the Nazis. And Indiana Jones is like, why are you working with the Nazis? These are horrible people. But Belloc's like, I just want to get what I want. And yeah, that's what makes him also a good villain. He just does not give a shit. He just wants what he wants. He wants the Lost Ark, and he's willing to join evil forces to get it. And he's all about intellect, and he's all about discovery. He's a lot he's the anti-Indiana Jones. That's why I really like Belloc. Some people are like, oh, why is Belloc your favorite? I grew up with Indiana Jones, and I always loved Belloc as a villain. Indiana Jones is my hero, obviously the best character, but Belloc is just a very cunning, and I love him against Indiana Jones, and I just love that he's an anti-Indiana Jones. He's just as smart as Indiana Jones, and just as attentive as Indiana Jones, and he has even more sources than Indiana Jones, and he's just willing to do things Indiana Jones is not willing to do. He's willing to go way beyond to get what he wants, and man, that's a freaking fucked up archaeologist. Yeah, he's a really fucked up archaeologist, but he's awesome, and I enjoy Belloc, and yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch. Coming at number 7, I'm cheating a little bit, but who cares? It's the 7 evil Exes from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Yes, all 7 of the evil Exes in Scott Pilgrim. I love all these people. I don't really care for the Kentinaga twins, but other than that, I love them all. I love Matthew Patel. I love Lucas Lee. I love Todd. I love Roxy. I love Gideon. Like, all of them are just awesome. The Kentinaga twins aren't bad. They're just the weaker ones, but I love all these villains. They're all very funny, very distinguished, and they're all so different, and that's why I love them. Like, I love Matthew Patel. He always, like, busts out in musical numbers, just like a pirate. Lucas Lee, played by Chris Evans, is like this macho actor who thinks he's awesome. He's also a skater. And then you got like one of my all-time favorites, Todd, played by Brandon Ralph. He's vegan, so because he's vegan, he has telekinetic powers. He almost looks like a Super Saiyan. Yeah, and he's a complete moron. You got Roxy, who was had a thing with Ramona Flowers. Oh yeah, they had a sexy face. And yeah, she's pretty awesome. And then of course you got Gideon, the leader of it all, the final evil X, played by Jason Schwartzman, and he's awesome. I love him. He's got like Sephiroth's sword, and yeah, he's just a really smart and really cool villain. The Kentinaga twins, like I said, they're just but I love all these villains. I love that Scott Pilgrim has to fight all 7 of them in this one movie. I was afraid, like, when this movie was going to come out, I'm like, oh, are they going to make it like a 3-parter or a 7-parter? Like, each movie he's fighting one X? Nope, just in a 2-hour movie, he fights all 7 of them, and it's awesome. I love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It's a little underrated, a little underappreciated, but I'm glad more and more people are getting into it. It's a fantastic movie, and I love the 7 evil X's. They're awesome. Coming at number 6 is Hannibal Lecter from The Silence of the Lambs. Yes, hello, Clarice. I ate his liver with a pair of fava beans. Anthony Hopkins just killed it as Hannibal Lecter in 1991's Silence of the Lambs. He won his Oscar for it with Jodie Foster, and they were both fantastic. But Hannibal Lecter, holy shit, Hannibal Lecter creeped the shit out. But he's also a very smart villain. I love, like, he's the opposite of, like, Buffalo Bill. Him and Buffalo Bill are both crazy, and they both, like, eat people and shit. Well, I don't think Buffalo Bill does, but he, like, skins people and stuff. Hannibal Lecter actually eats them. But, like, he's more smart, Hannibal Lecter, and he's more, like, he likes to manipulate people and toy with people's emotions and in their minds, because he was a psychologist, so that's why he's all about the mind and the human anatomy and stuff, and I love Hannibal Lecter, and he's one of the greatest villains, and Anthony Hopkins played him so freaking well, and I loved him in The Silence of the Lambs. He's good in, like, I don't mind Hannibal Lecter in all the movies, like, Manhunter's good, Hannibal's a shitty movie, but Anthony Hopkins is at least good in it, and Red Dragon, awesome. I haven't watched the Hannibal show. I heard, like, some mixed things. I heard a lot more positive, but yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll watch in the future, but Silence of the Lambs Hannibal Lecter is the best. He is awesome. Coming at number 5 is Roy Batty from Blade Runner. Of course, I've mentioned him a bunch of times. You saw him in my top 10 movie robots. He was in my top 10 movie robots. He's awesome. I love Roy Batty. He's just a fantastic character and an awesome villain. And like I said, he's a villain you like to sympathize with, because everything he's doing, you'll understand why he's doing it. He just wants to live. Like, is that so wrong? He just wants to live. And because he has a very short life expectancy, and he's gonna, like, die in 5 years, and his 5 years are almost up, and he just wants him and his team to live, and, like, yeah, he's willing to do very despicable things, but in the end, the ending of the movie just proves that he's not, like, a straight-up crazy villain. He's just, he wants to live. What's so wrong with that? And Rutger Hauer plays him so freaking well. I mentioned in my last video, Rutger Hauer should have got nominated for an Oscar for this performance, because he is just so freaking awesome in this movie. And like I said, I love Rick Deckard, I love Pris, I love Rachel, I love Tyrell, I love all of them, J.F. Sebastian, all of them are great characters. But Roy was always my favorite character. He's so compelling. He's so three-dimensional character. He's a very complex character. I just love him. He was such a beautifully written character. And again, that speech at the end just, gets to me every single time. I heard Rutger Hauer actually improvise the speech. It actually takes a good actor right there. And his speech always gives me goosebumps. And it's just so hauntingly beautiful, that speech. And yeah, I love him. He's a fantastic villain. One of the greatest robots in movies. One of the greatest villains in movies. Love Roy Batty. Coming to number 4 is the Joker from The Dark Knight. Yes. Why so serious? Yes. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are gonna be like, why is this only number 4? Why isn't this number 1? Again, this is just my personal favorite. He's still in my top 10. I love the Joker. I love all the Jokers. I love Joker in the Batman the Animated Series. I love Jack Nicholson's Joker. I'm excited for Jared Leto's Joker, but Heath Ledger's Joker is the best Joker I've ever seen. He is fan-freaking-tastic. He plays an homage to all the different Jokers, like Cesar Romero, Jack Nicholson, Mark Hamill, and stuff. But he's also his own Joker. He's a straight-up sociopathic Joker, and all he wants is to do is cause anarchy in the city of Gotham, and he is awesome. Heath Ledger plays him so freaking well. It's like a perfect performance, and like yeah, he's a very intimidating villain, and yeah, a bunch of scenes just showed like how intimidating he is. You know, the why so serious, and all the stories about his scars. You're just like, wow, this guy is not okay in the head. And of course, the interrogation scene between him and Batman, one of the best scenes in movies. I love that scene. I just love the Joker. I just love how he like manipulates all these crime bosses in Gotham. And I just love that he just has fun with it. And I just love that he'll never kill Batman, because he even says, "I'll never kill you because it's just so much fun toying with you. It's just so much fun fucking with you." That's why I just love the Joker. I love the Joker in general, but Heath Ledger Joker has always been my favorite. Ever since I've seen The Dark Knight, I was blown away by this Joker, and he's still, hands down, the best Joker, and one of the best movie villains ever. Coming number 3 is Hans Gruber from Die Hard. Yes, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Yes, Hans Gruber, get me my detonators. Yes, I love Hans Gruber from Die Hard. He is awesome. I love a lot of Die Hard villains. I love Simon from Die Hard with a Vengeance, that other guy from Die Hard 2, and Timothy Olyphant from Live Free or Die Hard, and Die Hard 5, I won't even mention that, but I love Hans Gruber. He is awesome. He's the definition of an action movie villain. He's awesome. He's smart. He's cunning. He's hilarious at times, and he's got like these riveting speeches, and I love that and I love all he wants is just money, and he's just willing to do whatever it takes to get it. And I love that just nothing like seems to bother him in this movie. Like anytime something is going wrong, he's just like, whatever. Yeah, we'll get on. Yeah, it's okay. We'll move forward. He's just a calm and collected villain, and I love that. And push comes to shove, he can improvise and like really like trick people. Like the scene when he goes up to the roof and runs into John McClane, and he just improvises like this American accent and tries to pretend to be someone else just off the top of his head. That's just how smart and clever he is. And I love the back and forth between him and John McClane. And I am always invested in Hans Gruber, and Alan Rickman just plays the role so freaking well. And I love the accent, and I love his team, and I just love how awesome he is. Hans Gruber is one of the greatest action villains, and he's one of my all-time favorite movie villains. I love Hans Gruber. Get me my detonators. Coming number 2 is Khan from Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan. Khan! Yeah, Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan is like my favorite Star Trek movie, and the villain Khan is one of the greatest villains ever. He is so freaking crazy and just vicious, and he's just willing to do just like Hans Gruber just to get what he wants. And yeah, he's willing to just kill the USS Enterprise of what they did and everything. If you watch the show, you'll know more about Khan and stuff. I don't want to spoil anything just in case you haven't seen the show or even this movie. So yeah, I'm just gonna say he's just an awesome villain. He's one of the greatest sci-fi villains, and I just love him. And every time, even in this universe, anytime you mention the name Khan, every character just gets scared, because that's just how fucked up Khan is, and just how awesome Khan is. And yeah, I love Khan. One of my favorite Star Trek villains. Well, actually, my all-time favorite Star Trek villain, and my second all-time favorite villain. Love Khan. Khan! And my number 1 favorite movie villain should come to no shock at all, Darth Vader from Star Wars. Yes, as you can tell, my name is Jay Vaders. If anyone's been wondering, my last name actually is Vaders. So yeah, it's always been an honor to be called Vaders, because I've been called Darth Vader all through school, and it was never insulting. I took it as a compliment, because Darth Vader is my all-time favorite Star Wars character. Well, this isn't Han Solo, but still. Darth Vader is the king of all bad guys. I freaking love Darth Vader. He's just so awesome. He looks badass. He's got an awesome voiced by James Earl Jones. And yeah, the costume of him looks great. The voice of him is great. And everything about Darth Vader is great. And also, he's badass with a lightsaber, and he chokes a lot of his men out. Yeah, he's awesome. Darth Vader is awesome. Everyone fears Darth Vader, and only one person ever beat Darth Vader, and that was his son Luke. Yes, I know in the prequels Obi-Wan did, but who gives a shit about those prequels? Darth Vader's awesome. I love the look of him, love the voice of him. He's always been my favorite villain, and that's never going to change. Love Darth Vader. So yeah, that was my top 10 of my personal favorite movie villains. So yeah, please comment below, let me know what is your top 10 favorite movie villains. Comment below, let me know. And did you agree with me? So yeah, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.